Wings of Pegasus, and I had a little bit of spare time, so I thought I'd whip down an acoustic version of a track called Amelia, which will be on the album once it comes out. Now I've decided to sit on the squeakiest chair ever. Hopefully that won't affect it too much. Now the idea that I've got in my head is to play along like a version now, and then play along to that version afterwards, and then hopefully sort of sync it up somehow. But it should work. In my head, I think it's going to be fine. So let's see. Forever under all this emptiness. Each time I try to get inside, you're running my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you leave me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. They say that time is a healer. I don't believe what they say. I'm broken anyway. Ever since we parted, it's never ending. Under all this emptiness, each time I try to get inside, you're running my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Don't tell me you love me when you're sorry. It's not enough, oh no. Only this time I woke and broken free. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, 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 Amelia. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Livestream Tuesday. It is, in fact, Tuesday today. Believe it or not, whether you know it or not is another question, but we are live streaming as normal. Thank you guys for requesting Amelia over on Patreon. That's one of my songs that you can pick up over at wingsofpegasus.com/music, and you can get the album version of that. That was an acoustic version, obviously, that was just a couple of takes of me accompanying myself, but I do explain that at the beginning of the video.
let me try and get some stuff up on screen. First of all, let's get the live chat room on screen to see who's in there tonight. And we have Totoda, Porga, and Vince, and Deborah, and Bob, and Lee, and Jennifer, Billy, Paul, Motown, Melissa going through, Lisa, Frank, Shorty Key, Kathy, and Dale. Hello, everybody in that live chat room. Thank you for joining me on this random day in between Christmas and New Year's Day. I am going to be doing a New Year's Eve live stream, as you guys probably know, and I did make a little tab to go in the corner, and maybe it's when I get, that's what I attributed it to, my patrons who go along the bottom of the screen while they pop up there. There's also something in the corner, kind of up there, that will show you that I'm going to be live streaming on New Year's Eve at 11:15 Greenwich Mean Time. So join in then. If you go to Google and type in your time zone, or just time in London, UK, you'll be able to see how your time relates to my time, and maybe you'll be able to join me for my New Year's Eve, going into New Year's Day, going into 2022, live on the live stream. I did that last year. Might have done it the year before as well. It's just a thing that we're starting to do. So join me then. I'm going to keep that on screen for the whole live stream, just in case anybody pops in and they can see exactly when I will be live streaming. So that'll be going for the 45 minutes up until the, I guess, start of 2022, and then after that I'll probably stay on for maybe 10-15 minutes, and then I'll be going off to celebrate it with my family. But that'll be happening on Friday, of course. Anyway, let me get the other things up on screen. First of all, let's see how many likes we've got going. We've got 132 so far, so if you could give that thumbs up a click as you come through the door on tonight's live stream, that would be massively appreciated, because we are aiming for a monster goal tonight of 350. That's probably the largest goal of the whole year. So we will see how we get on with that one. We're going to need every single like possible for tonight's live stream. And it might be a little bit random as to how many people get involved, because of the fact that people might not know it's a Tuesday, and I always live stream on a Tuesday. So if people don't know it, maybe they'll miss out on tonight's live stream. But I can see that there are a few of you in the house already. So thank you for joining me on this Tuesday random day. As I've already said, between Christmas and New Year. And this is probably the only year where I've had to keep a bit of an eye on which day it is to make sure that I live stream on Tuesday. And that all of you aren't sitting there waiting for me to live stream, and then I totally forget that it happens. But that hasn't happened in about 2 years, maybe longer. So I'm not going to start missing live streams now. So I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas and a good Boxing Day as well, and that you got all of the gifts that you wanted and that you asked for. I was over at my sister's house with my nephews pretty much for the whole of Christmas Day. We were figuring out how to, I was figuring out how to get the Nintendo Switch working that they had got as their present. Once we got that sorted, I got them a game called Mario Party, and then we just played that all day. And it was me and my 3 nephews, while the real adults went and just talked to each other in the other room and played board games. So I was just there with my nephews, which was fine, because I used to play Mario Party all the time when I was at university with my housemates, so I had a little bit of experience on it. Obviously, it's been updated since then. It's a lot more fancy, but that's what I was doing for the whole of Christmas Day, pretty much, and eating, of course. And actually, Boxing Day, we went over there again, even though we weren't supposed to go over there again. Unfortunately, my brother-in-law's parents got COVID. So it meant that they couldn't visit on Boxing Day, and they only found out that they had it, I think, of the morning that they were about to go over there, maybe the night before. So it meant that my nephews were waiting for them to visit, but then they were told, well, they're not going to be visiting anymore. So then we went over again, so they got a double dose of Uncle Phil, and we played Mario Party again. So yeah, a couple of days which were quite busy. But yeah, it was all good. And I got not only my chocolate orange that I asked for, but I got a double chocolate orange order, and I received those 2 chocolate oranges. So that means I got double the present this year, which is fantastic. I also got some Turkish Delight, and I am 3/4 of the way through my first chocolate orange, and I think that'll probably be finished off tomorrow. So I'm happy because I've got my 2 chocolate oranges, and yeah. Actually, my sister got me a huge bar of dairy milk, and when I say huge, I mean it was huge. It's like this wide and this long and this wide, so it's like a huge amount of chocolate that's probably going to last me the whole year, but I'm just working my way through the chocolate oranges. I just remembered that I've got chocolate money as well, but that's only maybe 5 or 6 coins, and I'm not sure whether you've had chocolate money. We only have it at Christmas. I think it's just something that the stores tend to stock at Christmas, just a little bag of coins that you open up and you eat them, chocolate coins. Anyway, moving on with the live stream tonight, what's going to be happening? We're going to be doing a pick roulette as normal. I'm saving up all of the pictures for the Christmas Eve live stream. So if you have uploaded any pictures, don't worry, I've probably got them. But I'm going to be, we're just going to have quite a long photo session on New Year's Eve live stream. So tune in for that. Just to mention the PayPal donations and Super Chat donations, and just getting a lay of the land, that 35 to 45% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat donations, and 3 to 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal donations. So that is the split. And just while I'm mentioning the donations, I know there were a couple before we went live. Actually, there were some that came in at the end of the last live stream, Christmas Eve. So let me just address those quickly, because Mark Ernest donated $20. So thank you for that, Mark. And this happened right at the end, so I didn't have a chance to address them in the live stream. But then Diane Lovejoy donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Diane. Orlando snuck in there with a $2 donation, and Carla donated $1.99 right at the end as well. So thank you guys for those. Just to address those before we get into tonight's donations that came in a little bit earlier on. Orlando again donated $2 and said spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. Thank you for that, Orlando. Great time to plug the mug, and there it is. Let me actually hold it correctly with the spike the likes on the other side. It's a great idea from Orlando. Hit that thumbs up if you do get a chance to help us to get to our pick roulette likes goal. And if you want to get any merchandise, it's in the tray underneath this video. Also in the description below, you will find a link to spring.com, and you'll find all of the merchandise there. T-shirts, hoodies, you name it. Also wingsofpegasus.com/merch if you want to go straight to the page in order to get your hands on the merch that Carla makes over there, necklaces, earrings, and all that kind of stuff. So thank you, Orlando, for that. Jennifer also donated $5. Thank you for that, Jennifer, and the message was Happy New Year's from Corey and me. We are so glad that you never got into the rock and roll lifestyle. We love you being alive and happy. So thank you for that, Jennifer. And yeah, I'm not one of these people that, I don't drink, first of all. I've just never liked the taste of alcohol, and I've never smoked as well. I was too much into sport when I was younger to start smoking. So yeah, I just wasn't destined really to get into all that kind of stuff. And the fact that I'm an independent musician means that I don't really get involved with bad influences potentially, but I think those pretty much only happen when you get a break early in life, so you're still in your development as a human, and you're trying to work things out as you go along. I think by the time you get to my age, and by the time that things started taking off for me, I already had my life sorted, organized. I already had my personality and my influences and all of my life decisions that have made me the person that I was at that point. I was never really going to change after that point, because I've been spending a long time doing it. And I think also the fact that I didn't get any kind of break meant that I probably appreciate it more now than other people that maybe got a break when they were really young. And I say that I don't believe still that I've ever got a break. Nothing's happened where somebody said, oh, hello, my name's John, and I own a record label, or I own a management company, or I own this or that, and we want to give you I say a contract, that's probably bad because I wouldn't sign a contract anyway, but we want to give you something in order to announce yourself on the national stage, or give you an opportunity to do that. And I don't think anything that I've ever done has just been me doing it. So yeah, I haven't really had any influences from outside, which I think is probably a good thing, because there are always conditions as to what you do in the future. When somebody's offering you something, they want something back for that. Whereas because I've never had that, it means that I've just been free to do things as I want to do them, and as I think they should be done, or how I think they should be done is probably the best way of saying it. But anyway, thank you for that, Jennifer. And I think those were the 2 donations that came in before we went live. I just want to jump into the PayPal donations window, because we did get a donation in there that came in on Sunday night. So this was, yeah, a bit of a one in between live streams. So thank you for this, Lauren, who donated £50, and the message was, "Happy Christmas, Phil. Sorry that I didn't get to this yesterday, but I hope you had a wonderful day and were able to celebrate with friends and family. Thanks for the videos. They're important to me, and I'm sure others as well." Lauren, so thank you for that, Lauren. And that was on Sunday, so I'm just going to have to jump now to a little bit more recent, because obviously I do get lots of emails that come in between, like Sunday and today. So let's jump into the other donations. There's a CD order in there as well, but I think now we're up to date with Paul. So let me just get this on screen for you guys to be able to see it as well. And Paul has donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, please spike those likes and thank the moderators. So thank you for that, Paul. Big shout out to the moderators in that live chat room for doing such a fantastic job, not only tonight, but on Christmas Eve and every single live stream of the year. So thank you guys. You know who you are. Of course, I always name them. We have Laurie in there, Susan and Dennis, who I saw in there a little bit earlier on. We have Carla in there and Neil. You'll see their names in blue with the wrench next to their names. So they are the moderators that keep the community together, keep it such a great place to be on these live streams. If you want to join in with the community between the live streams, then you can head over to Facebook. If you use Facebook, the Wings of Pegasus supporters page is the page that you want to head over to in order to join in with everybody between the live streams. And if you just click on join, then you'll be allowed in. And yes, a lot of people are hanging out over there, which is great. And there are regular posts on that channel, or should I say on that page. It's not really a channel, it's just a supporters page that everyone can get involved with. So head over there if you want to, and if you get a chance to check it out. There's the after stream party that happens in there, and that's Vince that organizes that. And occasionally we'll have Skype calls. I tried to join in with one once, but that was quite recently where the sound didn't work, unfortunately. But a lot of the members in there do get involved with the Skype calls as well, so you can interact with each other in a live setting. So we are going to be continuing on as normal with tonight's live stream. We've got a vote going on, by the way, for tonight's cover video, and that is Miles Away and Don't Stop Believin', if I remember correctly, and I can find it on my screen somewhere. And yes, I can see the song that has the most votes, which is Don't Stop Believin' at 59%. So have a click on that in order to get your vote in to see which particular cover we're going to be listening to a little bit later on. So we are going to be having the pick roulette later on as well, and throughout December we're doing 2 spins. So it means that somebody's going to be winning the signed Wings of Pegasus pick, as always, but then the Wings of Pegasus pick tin with 3 coloured picks that you'll get with that tin. So stay tuned for that. I always say, to double your chances, make sure that you tune into all of the live streams, the Tuesday live stream, the Saturday live stream as it is normally, but New Year's Eve falls on a Friday, so we're going to be doing that this week. So if you want to enter in for those pick roulettes, make sure you stay tuned until the end of the live stream, until after the pick roulette that we've had. And usually we jump into that at about 10 to 1 or 1 a.m. here in the UK. So you can stay tuned for that, which will be in about half an hour, something like that. So you'll be able to watch that, and you can't enter the next week's pick roulette until we've hit the picks goal and we've had the pick roulette for this particular week. So make sure that you stay tuned in order to get your name on next week's, if we hit that target, because it is a huge target we're aiming for tonight, 350. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it'd be much appreciated if you could. We'll see if we can get a little spike of the lights going at 21 minutes past midnight here in the UK. So let me just jump in to the PayPal donations window. I know that one has come in the super chat window as well, but just to jump over to Beth's donation that has come in, which is for £107.11. Thank you for that, Beth, a very kind donation. And the message is, Happy New Year, Phil and Wingers. I have missed you all, been going through a rough patch, but this, as they say, shall pass. Great to see you all. You always put a smile on my face. Much love to all. With a smiley face, rock horns, and a heart. So, thank you for that, Beth, and good to see you in tonight's live stream. And I know that a lot of people are saying Happy New Year in this particular live stream. I will be live streaming on New Year's Eve, so if you can join me then, I'm sure there'll be lots of Happy New Year's going on, including me saying it to you, even though you might not be in the same country, but in the UK I will be singing it in with you guys live on Friday night. So that'll be good, and hopefully you guys can join me. But even if there's nobody there, I'll still be live streaming just to myself, enjoying the New Year's festivities. Even though I won't be watching them, I'll probably get to watch them a little bit after while I celebrate with my family as well. But looking forward to that one. Thank you, Beth, for that. And I'm just going to scroll up because Mark has donated £5 as well. So thank you for that, Mark. And the message is, thanks for producing so many interesting and informative videos. Phil, keep up the great work, with a thumbs up. No problem, Mark. Thank you for watching and just interacting with the videos, hitting the thumbs up. Also, this is a big thing to mention on the live stream tonight, that we have reached 218,000 subscribers on the channel. And I think I updated this at some point while I was setting up the stream. And there it is. That's it. So 218,000, but the applause didn't happen. And now it has happened. So I don't know why I've had to click that sound effect to make it work. But there you go. Maybe the crowd were a little bit in shock that it's 218,000. But it is. So a massive number. But thank you guys for subscribing and hitting the notification bell. You can also click on the box in order to get notified for every single video. Make sure you do that to never miss one. But also on Patreon, I do upload every single video there, including the live streams. So if you really don't want to miss a video, then if you join in over on Patreon, then you'll be able to, let me actually just get rid of that. And get rid of that. So now you actually hear what I'm saying. But if you want to get involved over on Patreon, then you can do, like I said, there's a new post for every single video. So that is the patreon.com site, and /Wings of Pegasus is what you want to add to that in order to get involved over there. And thank you guys for supporting me over there. I always say it is the foundation of the channel and everything that I do, and that will never change. If everything stopped on YouTube, that is where I would be, continuing to make videos and uploading them and giving you a post for every single video as well. So yes, hopefully YouTube won't finish and end, but that's where I would be if it did. So thank you guys for all of your support over on Patreon. So let's get rid of that one, and let's have a little look into the live chat room and see who's in there. Oh, I just saw a message that had a lot of emoticons after it, or emotes. I think they mean the same thing. If you do that on YouTube, I think it holds it back or doesn't make it show up properly if there's, because it thinks it's just spam. So try not to do too many of those pictures, because it will get marked. And I know that some people have said, oh, why is my comment and my message not showing up in the live streams? And it might just be that you've put too many pictures after what you're writing. So just try and keep it down to maybe 2 or 3, and then they will go through. And just like Neil has put there, with a little smiley face, you can see that that gets through absolutely fine. And I can see that Debbie Rose has done one as well that you'll see coming through in a second. There is a little bit of a delay, but you'll be able to see that it does get through when you don't put too many pictures on there. But I can see that Nana's Angels says hello, Phil. So hello, Nana's Angels, and hello all of you guys in that, guys and girls. I call girls and guys guys, but not girls, because I've explained this before. Maybe it's, I think something that I've seen in the USA as well. People, when they're collectively guys and girls, they're just a collection of guys. It's like, hi guys. I always say hi guys, even though I'm probably referencing more women than men, or maybe it's about a 50-50 split, I do not know. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining me on tonight's live stream. Just quickly popping in to that super chat window because PR has donated £4.49. So thank you for that, and for tuning in very late in the UK. It's just coming up to midnight here. But the message is, hey, love your channel. Can you break down Celine Dion using pre-recorded live vocals? The power of love in particular. So thank you for that. And I'd probably need a link to a video, because it does seem like a bit of a specific request, because there might be live versions or maybe lip-synced versions. But if you can link me to that, that would be great. Or email it to me at wingsofpegasus@hotmail.com, and then I'll be able to click on the link and see exactly which performance you're talking about. But thank you for that. And Paul has donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, this is my happy place. Thank you, Phil and fellow wingers. Thank you for that, Paul. And everyone say hello to Paul in that live chat room. Just to touch on that point that PR made in that previous donation about using pre-recorded live vocals. This is something that I've mentioned before, I think in other videos, or maybe it might have been in a live stream, where artists will in the studio record their album version of a song, and then they will separately record, sometimes either on a condenser mic like this, or an SM58, a mic that is typically used for live performances. They'll record a version to lip sync to that sounds live, and they'll be performing live, but it isn't live. So generally, when you're using a condenser mic like this, you'll have a popper stopper in order to stop the plosives from happening, and I'm having my hand out here to stop the P of the plosives. That letter will cause air to hit the mic, and you'll get a plosive, which is like an explosive. It's just, you hear the air hitting the mic. So when you're recording in the studio, you have a popper stopper, which stops the plosives from hitting the mic. And you'll see it. It's like a circular thing that has like a mesh really fine mesh that stops the air from hitting the vocal as dramatically. Anyway, you have that in the studio, but when you're performing live, all you can do is rely on the inner casing of an SM58, for example, which doesn't do the greatest job sometimes, especially if you're singing at volume. So you will hear all of those P's and all of those plosives on that microphone. Whichever word has a P in it, you'll hear it instantly. But with the live performances, in order to mime along or lip sync along to a pre-recorded version of it but get it to sound live, you use an SM58. Record it in the studio. Then in the studio they might use pitch correction, probably not auto-tune because it starts to stand out a little bit too much, but they'll have that version that they then lip sync along to live, so it sounds live. And when people listen to the original and then listen to this live performance, they'll say, oh, this is obviously live because you can hear it's a live mic and it's different to the one in the album, or the one from the album, that particular song. So the level at which the live performances do mislead you is quite deep, because it will be a live sounding vocal because it has been recorded to sound that way. And it just reminds me of a video that was requested to look at using auto-tune and pitch correction, and this was actually probably more a case of pitch correction than auto-tune, but it was quite obvious that when Taylor Swift was performing, and she wasn't performing, she was actually at I'm not sure what it was. It looked like an event where she was accepting an award with, it looked like maybe, I don't know, 100 fans there, and it was just her on stage, and there was no mic set up or guitar or anything. But then she kind of makes it out that, right, we're going to do a gig off the cuff. But it was obviously pre-planned that they were going to do this, because somebody came on with a mic that was already set up and came on with her guitar, which is all ready to go. And of course, everyone in the crowd is really excited, and because it seems like it's off the cuff, but there were a few angles that she's being filmed from professionally, so it wasn't like crowd shot footage, so you could tell that it's been set up in that way. But then when she started performing, she had auto-tune on her voice, and it was a real shame, because I thought, because of the impromptu nature, or seemingly impromptu nature, that she was just going to play and sing. But it just goes to show that even with performances that seem like, oh, I tell you what, let's just do a song, give me the guitar, that's all been planned, and it's now auto-tuned, so that when you watch it on YouTube, it's spot on the lines all the time. So I'm not sure whether I will do that in a proper video, but it might be a good one to show you how deep it goes with, you know, off the cuff performances. They're never off the cuff. They've always got some kind of production, either potentially miming to a song you've recorded in the studio previously, or a performance that is being auto-tuned, or a performance that was live but then is auto-tuned and pitch corrected by the record label and then released on YouTube. So yeah, there's so many levels to it, unfortunately, but I did have an interesting discussion with my brother-in-law about this over Christmas, because he made a valid point to say that in the future, if everyone is using auto-tune and pitch correction, that means that if you're not doing it, you're working at a disadvantage, and everyone else has got an advantage, and they might not be as good as you, but they will sound better than you and more accurate pitch-wise. And that's exactly the case. That is true, that every artist can start to use it. Certainly, I'd say, I don't know what, 90% of artists probably use it in the current day industry, because as soon as somebody doesn't use it, it's really obvious. Like Adele, she doesn't use auto-tune because she sounds like a real singer singing, and it just sticks out when somebody's not using it. So the majority of the industry are using auto-tune and pitch correction, and I think that most producers would agree with that statement. But what I would say is, if you've got any vinyls and originals, keep those, don't throw them away, because there's a bit of a trend that's starting where record labels are remastering old songs and releasing them with auto-tune and pitch correction on the vocal. So they've gone all the way back to the previous mix, and they're taking somebody, and this is why when I did a video saying, has Elvis ever been auto-tuned, some people said, how can Elvis be auto-tuned, because he was around before auto-tune had even been invented. And somebody said, oh, how dare you, it's such an insult to even suggest that he was auto-tuned. But the point of the video was to point out that so far he hasn't been auto-tuned in a re-release, but other artists have been auto-tuned in re-releases. So it means that if somebody's listened to the original back, say the Queen example is a good one, 1974. That was Freddie Mercury singing in 1974, and it was previously released in that year, or from that year, totally unedited. They then re-released it, or had a remastered version of it that they released on the official Queen channel that is now auto-tuned. So if you want to go back and find that original, that's not the version that you will find, the re-release, the remastered version, which is auto-tuned. So if you think, well, no, I wanted to listen to the original, where do you find the original? Because you would have to try and find it somewhere other than the official Queen release on their official channel. So, relating this to Elvis, I'm saying that so far they haven't remastered or re-released anything of Elvis that is auto-tuned. But the point of that video was to state that fact, because they are doing this with artists who are around well before auto-tune and have died before the invention of auto-tune, but for some reason now they're seeing it as something that they think the vocalist, the best vocalist of all time, suddenly need, as if they weren't popular enough and they didn't sing well enough. So that is the point that I'm making, that unfortunately, if you have the originals on your person or in your collection, don't throw them away, because it might be the fact that in the future the only version of the song you can get is now with an auto-tuned vocal. It won't have the same inflection, and the inflections on the vocalist voice, the slightly flat, slightly sharp, the expression, it won't have that anymore. It'll start being snapped to the notes. So make sure you keep those originals. I've said on the channel, as soon as I spot anything that is like a classic song that was released and everybody knows the original version, and they're now starting to auto-tune it and re-release it, I'll let you guys know as soon as I hear anything like that, because I think that's a little bit borderline, because the person who recorded that original vocal, more often than not, are not giving their permission for the record label to change that person's voice. They sang it that way, so why would you do that? And sometimes you can't even ask the person because they've passed on. They're not here anymore. So especially with Freddie Mercury, I think it's a little bit borderline for the record label to release an official version doing something to Freddie Mercury's voice that he hasn't given permission for, and he can't give permission for it. So yeah, there's a whole kind of grey area there that's debatable, but certainly an interesting topic, but interesting to bring up with my brother-in-law, discussing about if you don't auto-tune your voice, you won't sound, well, it's probably going to be an advantage that you don't sound like everybody else, but you will be working at a disadvantage. And I said, the reason that I don't use it is because artistically, I just want to be able to sing how I want to be able to sing. And it's up to every artist individually, and whether they've got control of it or not, I control everything that I do. So I would rather sing the way that I sing, and then when people listen to me sing live, I will still sing the same way, rather than do something live and I sound totally different and can't hit any of the notes that I have on my songs. So I just wanted to make it authentic, I guess is the best word for it. The authenticity of my music and me as an artist, I want to keep 100%, so that everybody has an equal lay of the land and they know how I produce music and how I prefer to make music. And there are artists, I'm sure, that don't care, and they'll go into a studio and say, right, put all the auto-tune you need on my voice to get me to that note, because I can't do it, and I'm quite happy not being able to do it because I'll use auto-tune when I perform live as well. And that's up to them to decide, but personally, I wouldn't really work like, I wouldn't get the same satisfaction from having worked at learning to sing and using my voice from scratch, not being able to sing, and then working up to being able to sing, I think there's a lot of reward from doing that and getting to a point where you can hold a tune and where you can hit notes rather than just not working at anything at all and just being able to do it and hit the notes. Because I'm from a sporting background, I think I relate it very much to cheating in sports and maybe taking something that's going to enhance your performance where everybody else is doing things by training. They're doing things, improving themselves and putting in the training to get where they are, rather than just taking something that's going to get them to that point and they've not needed the hard work to get there. So again, I think vocals is a little bit different because you lose so much expression and it's an art form, so expression is such a huge part of it. But anyway, thank you for that. Was just a donation about the Celine Dion from PR that started me along that conversation, or just point that I wanted to make about how much it's being used. But I'll always point it out on the channel for you guys to get an appreciation of how much it is being used. But thank you, Jennifer, as well, who popped in there with a $5 donation again. And the message is, Phil, won't they have to get permission from the record producers to go back and auto-tune a singer? And can't you request no auto-tuning? So thank you for that. I'm not sure. If you're signed to a major label, you sign everything over to them. Unfortunately, that's just the way of it. And I don't know why signing a record deal is still, in this day and age, even back in the day, it was seen as an attractive prospect of signing a record contract. But for me, it's never been appealing, signing your name to a loan that you're going to have to pay back. And often it will be a ridiculous amount of money that you wouldn't even be able to get, from a bank. For example, when you get a mortgage for a house, you've got to go through so many steps for the bank to even allow you to have a mortgage. But when you sign a record deal, you can sign a £500,000 record deal and everyone goes, oh wow, isn't that great? And nobody realizes or really appreciates that the artist now owes the record label £500,000. It's a ridiculous amount of money. So the amount of sales you've got to get just to break even, $500,000, is crazy. So anyway, yeah, that's unfortunately the case. You sign everything over to the record label. So if they want to auto-tune you, they will. I think maybe if you've signed a decent record deal where you actually get a say in your own career and your music, then you would be able to say, I don't want you to use auto-tune or pitch correction. Or you could say, I don't mind you using it, but I want to hear what it sounds like before you release it. Because some of the jobs that they've done on big selling artists where it's just such a bad job in the studio, I'm sure the artist listening to it would think, hang on, this sounds a bit stupid, I'm not having it released in this state, can you go back and maybe spend another half an hour or an hour on it? Because more often than not, that's all it takes just to get it to sound a bit more natural. But it's something that's signed over to record labels. If you're independent, of course, you've then got the option to use it or not. And somebody linked me to, believe this or don't believe it, but I'll tell you it's a fact, that he was on, I think, like an open mic circuit, and he was just filming one of the other people that's on the same circuit. So they're doing well-known songs, just acoustic guitar and singing, and he was using auto-tune on his voice. So it's gone as far as, because you can buy auto-tune as a pedal now, it's gone as far as people using it on open mic nights so that they're hitting notes all the time. And you could hear, especially, he did Summer of '69, where it stood out that he couldn't naturally hit the high notes. I mean, Bryan Adams has got a great range, and he hits notes in chest voice in the male tenor range, which will be, around A4. So they are notes that are way up there. But this guy obviously struggled to get there, and you could hear the auto-tune kick in to get him to those notes at that top end. And it's obviously that he's not a tenor and he's got a strain to get up there, but the auto-tune made it happen. So I could say, yes, this guy is using it. Obviously, I think people watching it didn't realize, but it shows you how much it's being used in not only the industry, but just with performances that seem like it's just an open mic night, somebody getting up on stage and performing. they will have, you could see that he was just touching on the auto-tune when he performed, and then he'd flick it off to address the crowd so that it's not snapping his voice to notes when he's talking to people. So it sounds like this when he's speaking, but then as soon as the song would start and he starts strumming, he'd just click it on because it's a pedal, and now his tuning would be absolutely perfect for the performance. So it's interesting. I say that if you're an independent artist, of course, you can choose to use it or not. I choose not to use it, but some people do choose to use it and haven't got a problem with hitting the notes dead on the lines all the time and having that auto-tune pedal as part of their setup. The only thing is that I would say when you're using reverb on a guitar, chorus on the guitar, or flanger, and this is something that I say in the video, sometimes I still say flanger because it's something that we used to throw around in a band years ago when we used to call each other a flanger, and it was like an insult, but I still sometimes refer to flanger as flanger because I've said it so many times like that. So anyway, I think I said that in an analysis video and somebody spotted it, but anyway, yeah, so you can have all of those effects on your guitar, but I think it's a different kettle of fish because you're playing your guitar and it's adding to what you're playing. It's not changing what my fingers are doing, whereas with auto-tune, it's changing what your voice is doing, and that's your instrument. So it's like, well, if you're starting to change what the instrument is doing, then how much control have you got over that instrument? It is like, oh, great example here. I used to have, I think I still got it in the loft somewhere, a Boss GT pedal, GT5 or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but it had a pedal on there, or an effect that played arpeggios by holding down one note on the guitar. So it meant that if I held down an A, it would play an A minor arpeggio. And it will go, so it'd be like sweeping on the guitar, where you have to go across 5 or 6 strings all at once, and it was perfect because it was just I was only playing one note, but it was playing 5 notes, and or even 6 notes across the whole guitar. Now I would say that I'm now not playing that, but the effect is playing a perfect arpeggio. Would other guitarists have a problem with me playing an A minor arpeggio, going up to B, now playing a C minor and only playing one note and it being perfect? You'd say, well, they haven't worked at the technique in order to do that. They are cheating, and a lot of guitarists would call it cheating because you're not playing it. But it's an effect that's fundamentally adding and changing to what I'm playing on the guitar. I'm not playing those notes, but it's making it happen. So with auto-tune, you're not singing those notes, but it's making it happen. So there is the argument to how much actually of the artist is in there, because you're relying on a pedal and a computer to get the sound that people are hearing out the front of the stage. So there is a bit of a comedy video on YouTube that I saw where there's a guy behind the desk and somebody who really can't sing, but then he's really working hard in order to get this female vocalist to sound great out of the speakers, but then when you listen to her in the studio, it sounded awful. And unfortunately, that's quite accurate to what you might hear, even at a gig. Out the front of the stage, out of the speakers, you're hearing the result of auto-tune. If you were listening to the person on stage, you'd hear through the mic, or you actually wouldn't hear it through the mic, you'd have to get rid of the mic, you'd hear their voice not hitting the notes, and it would sound a lot different out the front of the stage to what it sounds like to the rest of the musicians on the stage. So yeah, interesting stuff, but I mean, it is really a powder keg of discussion, so you can discuss it as much as you want until you're blue in the face. But let's get back to the live stream. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, if you could do, that would be massively appreciated. We're aiming for 350 likes tonight, and we are at 309.41 is what we're aiming for. It wasn't too difficult to work out, but difficult enough for me. So let's have a look into that super chat window. There's been another donation that's come in, but thank you, Jennifer, for that. Again, it just started me off on a bit of a tangent of auto-tune, but thank you, Paul, as well, who has donated $2. And Paul says, I am a good solo singer. Solo, you can't hear me. So thank you for that, Paul. And I'm going to read that again. I'm a good solo singer. Oh, solo. You can't hear me. I delivered that in the wrong way. But thank you for that, Paul. I now understand it when I read it properly. So thank you for that. And just jumping into the PayPal donation window as well. So let's have a little scroll up. There we have it. And Beth has donated £10.71. Again, thank you for that, Beth. And the message is, I forgot to say congratulations on your huge growth. Fantastic, so well deserved, with lots of pictures in there. So thank you for that, Beth. And this is the growth on the YouTube channel, and not like a huge growth on my face or arm or something that has suddenly come about. So thank you for that, Beth. And yes, recently I know that a lot of people were saying by Christmas we'd reach 200,000 subscribers, and we have reached that with just a small matter of 18,000 more. But thank you everyone for subscribing. I know that the subscriber count does go up and down. We just seem to be on a little bit of a roll at the moment, but I'm sure it's going to slow down at some point again. But it is great to see so many people joining in with the live streams now. More recently, we've had a few more people watching, so thank you for joining in. And Linda Z's in the house. I can see her in the live chat room. And we've got Tom, Laurie, Bev is in there. Neil as well. Maria, Lynn's about to go through, Jesse as well. So if you are new to the live streams, this is your first live stream, say hello, introduce yourself into that live chat room, and everyone will say hello back to you. And this is how we start, just introducing ourselves to each other and getting to know each other in the live streams. We live stream on a Tuesday and a Saturday. We're going to be doing one on Friday night, and that's going to take place of Saturday night's live stream. So it's going to be a New Year's Eve live stream. As you can see in the corner, it's going to be 11:15 is when we're going to be starting on Friday. So tune into that. If you get a chance, head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook to get involved over there as well if you want to. You can get your name on the live streams if you want to as well by hopping over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, and that is the foundation of the channel. All these lovely people at the bottom of the screen allow me to do what I do on YouTube with all the analysis videos and just the live streams, every single video. Thank you guys for your support over there. So let's get rid of that, and just jumping into the PayPal window as well, because Sue has donated £20. Thank you for that, Sue, and that is a straight up donation. And Linda Z, I just spotted Linda Z in the live chat room, but now Linda Z is in the PayPal donations window as well. Thank you for this £10 donation. And Linda says, you spoiled my ear, Phil. I recently heard my niece sing on a track of a Hallmark Christmas TV movie, and they applied such bad auto-tune. Her voice was nearly unrecognizable. I was so angry because she didn't need it. So thank you for that, Linda Z. And this is the problem with Hollywood as well, movies, and getting singers who aren't singers. They auto-tune them, but then they're getting singers who are singers and auto-tuning the singers who are already singers. So you think, well, hang on. I don't know at what point the record labels and Hollywood movie producers thought that they now start to need to use auto-tune to tune the singers who are already singers. Why are you applying it to the people who can't sing and the people who can sing? It was used initially, I mean, first of all, it was used artistically, and then they kind of abused the use of it, thinking, oh, hang on, we can cheat now. So it means that we can get somebody into the studio who isn't very good at singing and just get them to sing the song once through, and it's only going to take four or 5 minutes, and then we can just auto-tune it and then release it. So it means that we've spent minimal money on producing the product is now really cheap, but we can still charge the amount that people have been paying for this over the years, over the last 30 years. People aren't going to question it, and realistically what should happen is they should say, we used auto-tune on this, so it only took us 4 or 5 minutes to record the vocal. Therefore, because because it cost £50,000 less for the whole album, we're going to reduce the cost of it to 10p per song, because that's how much it costs to make. But of course they're not going to do that. They're still going to charge you 79p, 99p, and they're still going to charge you the same amount that they do for an album, even though, yeah, it's now costing so much less to produce because they're auto-tuning people who can't really sing very well. And that used to be the advantage of being a great singer, is they could come in and do it in one take. Now, a bad singer can come in and do it in one take, and it sounds bad, but then they just use pitch correction auto-tune to get it to sound on pitch. It's still not going to sound great because it's just going to be butchered by auto-tune. It's going to sound like a computer. And maybe in the future they'll work out how to get it to sound a little bit more natural, but you've still got the problem of singers, great singers, put different expression into different words. So whatever the word is, if that word has more meaning, generally the singer goes a bit sharp because the word has meaning in context of the song they're singing and the emotion that they're applying to it. So you'd need to tell the computer how to interpret a word and the meaning of the word within the context of a song. So it's going to be really difficult to do or to write a program that is just going to be as good as a great singer. So I think at the moment the great singers just sound great because they're not using auto-tune. But anyway, thank you for that, Linda Z. And Deborah has donated £5 as well. Thank you for that, Deborah. And the message is, spike the likes and a plug of the mug. Thank you for that, Deborah. Let's have another plug of the mug as requested. There it is. Spike the likes. Great idea. 4 away. I thought this was a huge target tonight, but we are only 4 away from our likeometer just hitting 350. So if there are 4 of you that haven't hit that thumbs up in the live chat room, it'd be massively appreciated if you could do that. It will get us to our target, meaning next week we're going to have a pick roulette, but also it just helps the channel to grow, for these live streams to get out there as well. So we are up to date with everything in PayPal. So thank you guys for those donations tonight. And Mo has donated $5 in the super chat window. Thank you for that. It's a straight up donation. And Tina has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Tina. And the message says 20.00. So maybe that was a $20 donation going through as a 5. But anyway, thank you for that, Tina. $5 is much appreciated, and don't worry about having to donate any more than that. Every donation just makes a huge difference to what I can do on the channel. And I always say about the hard drive fund, I mean, that's a fund that is always required because I'm always making videos, and this is why I can continue to make videos, because of your continued support. And I mentioned on that live stream a couple of live streams or a few live streams ago, just the sheer amount of things that I pay for every month, like the website, the software, loads of software, the plugins. The plugin that I use to route my audio is all a monthly thing, so it's like $20 or $30 a month. But my internet as well, I have 2 internets, one as a backup, which is a monthly charge. So all of these donations and regular donations help me to regularly continue maintaining everything that I do as well. And my website, I mean, that's a monthly thing as well. So without you guys, there wouldn't be a wingsofpegasus.com. So thank you guys for all of your support throughout the live streams, but throughout 2021 as well. And it's getting to the point where saying 2022, I'm not sure whether that's the right year or not, because the years sound ridiculous. Because I remember, 5 or 6 years ago thinking that 2020 was miles away, and now it's 2021, 2022. And before I know it, it'll be 2023. So I just have to double check that I am saying the right year, because they do flash past. But anyway, thank you guys. Oh gosh, as well, for that $3 donation that says, did you watch La La Land? I liked the score. So thank you for that. And I haven't seen that, unfortunately. This is a problem that I do have with the channel being on the go all the time. It's still just me doing everything. So with even though it's 218,000 subscribers, I'm still answering all of the messages and all of the emails. So it means that pretty much I'm on the go the whole time. So I don't have time to sit down and watch movies. And I know that I said a few live streams ago that I'm a huge fan of The Matrix, and that there's a new Matrix movie that came out. And unfortunately, I haven't seen it yet because I just haven't had the time to do it. And it's only at cinemas here in the UK, which means I'm going to have to try and find the time to go to the cinema as well, which means driving there, parking, going to the cinema, watching it, and then coming back. So I'm going to have to try and find some time to do that because I really want to see that. I haven't even seen the Beatles documentary yet. I really want to see that. I haven't seen La La Land. I know that it's a great movie and it's got great songs on there as well. So there are so many things on my to-do list, but unfortunately all of my to-do list things are just essential, just day-to-day of the running of the channel, and also answering emails like Cole from Black Mountain Picks, who has been in touch asking about maybe getting together doing something in the future. And I know that Justin Johnson has worked with them in the past as well, and Justin is a friend of the channel. I've spoken with him a few times, so it'd be great maybe to work out something with Black Mountain Picks, because it looks really interesting what Cole is doing with that. Being able to play slide guitar with a ring rather than having to have the whole slide on your finger. It looks really interesting. So he's going to be sending me over a little bit of his product for me to test out and then potentially maybe do something featuring it on the channel in the future. I also mentioned about Moises, the company that I spoke to, and that's Raphael, about maybe doing something with them in the future, just featuring an app, which is really cool, and I'll have more on that in the future. But again, so all of the business emails, I'm answering all of those at the same time as the website emails and the comments, making notes of the requests, doing the request videos, doing the live streams. So yeah, fully busy at the moment, but I will still try to keep up as much as possible. But thank you Jarandom as well, or Jay or Jar Random, who has donated $5. Thank you for that. It's a straight up donation. And Richard has donated $10. Thank you for that, Richard. And it says thank you. So thank you for joining me on this live stream, and all you guys in that live chat room for tuning in. I can see that we have hit the likes goal, so thank you guys so much for that. Before we started, I said to Carla, 350 is a massive target, so I wasn't sure that we're going to hit it, but I said we'll see what happens. And true to form, you guys have just smashed it out of the park. So thank you guys for doing that. 374 and counting. If you're watching this on catch up in the future, you can still hit that thumbs up. It'd be much appreciated if you could do that to help this live stream to get out there a little bit more. The Richard has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, aloha dude, great to see you live. Sending you an email. This will be the best year yet. So thank you for that. And yes, if you send me an email, it usually takes me a few days to get through them. I do get through them eventually, but I have to wait until an admin day, which is where I don't make a video. So it means that I free up the hours that I would be making a video by not doing a video in order to answer emails. So I will do that on my next day, and those days are Thursday and a Monday. So I'll probably get through that probably this Thursday. If you send me an email now, it'll be in there waiting. So thank you for that, Richard. And just going to scroll over to that PayPal window, because Chris has donated £3.56, and the message is Happy New Year, Phil. So thank you for that, Chris, and have a great New Year as well. I will be live streaming on New Year's Eve, so join me then if you can. You can see there in the corner. Maybe if I do it the other side of the mic, that kind of looks a bit better. A little bit more accurate. 11:15 on Friday, which is New Year's Eve. I will be live streaming and seeing in the new year with whoever is going to join me then. Hopefully you can if you are free. And if your time zone works out, it might even not be the new year quite yet for you, and you can just watch me start 2022 just ahead of everybody else. So let's jump into, it's 3 minutes past 1 already. Let's jump into tonight's requested cover, and it is, I'm just going to actually stop the poll. Thank you guys for voting on this one. It looks like it is Don't Stop Believin'. I'll wait for confirmation, but there it is. It goes through 65%, so thank you for that. It's 320. A lot of you voted tonight. I hope you enjoy this one, my version of the Journey Classic, and I'll see you guys after. Rock!
town girl, living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. Singer in a smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. There's shadows searching in the night. Streetlight people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. Working hard to get my fill. Everybody wants a thrill. Paying anything to roll the dice just one more time. Some will win, some will lose. Some are born to sing the blues. Oh, the movie never ends. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. There's shadows searching in the night. Streetlight people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Streetlight people. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Streetlight people.
Hi guys, it's Phil here. Thanks so much for watching my cover of Don't Stop Believing by Journey. The names you can see here are my patrons. Hi patrons, thanks so much for your support and for making videos like this possible. If you want to get involved yourself and if you want to talk to me and maybe suggest some other songs that I can cover, head to this website down here, patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. And if I don't see you on Patreon, I will see you at the next video. Have a great day. Rock. And there we have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. We're going to be jumping pretty much straight into the pick roulette now because things are moving along quite quickly. It's already 10 past, almost 10 past midnight. Oh no, 10 past 1 here in the morning in the UK. So, by the way, thank you for this donation. Karen, who has donated $5. And the message is, thanks for sharing your expertise so freely. Curious to see what you think when you hear Paul and John talk about feeling guilty about dissing George. So thank you for that, Karen. And I don't know if this is going to be in relation to the documentary because I haven't seen it yet. So I can't say anything about that. But as soon as I have seen that, I'll let you guys know. But thank you for that, Karen. And I think especially when you're friends and you're in a band, sometimes the business side of the band can start to overtake things a little bit too much. And I'm sure that would have been the case with the Beatles, obviously, how huge they were. And a lot of the business side of things might have strained the friendship, but that's why they would feel bad, because probably a lot of the decisions were not only business based but artistically based and not really personally based. It's nothing against somebody else, but it can be taken that way. It's band politics. There's a reason that term exists. It's because it is so different when you're in a band, and especially at that kind of level that the Beatles were. So yes, Paul and John, probably felt bad at some point. I mean, George, I think at that point, I haven't seen the documentary, but from how I understand it, was certainly going through his own development phase. I mean, actually, personally, like not only musically and the influences that he was getting into, but religiously, and everything that he was starting to get into at that point was probably seen as a lot different to the rest of the band. So yeah. Anyway, thank you. I haven't seen that documentary, but I will as soon as I do have the time to see it. And thank you, Alexandria, who has donated $20 as well. And the message is, thanks for all the info, as always, Phil, with a thumbs up. So thank you for that. Diane has donated $5. And the message is, I love your cover of this Journey song, with a heart. So thank you for that, Diane. Tina has donated $20 as well. Thank you for that, Tina. And the message is, hi Phil, sorry I messed up the donation. Laugh out loud. Here is another 20 for your expenses. Love you. So thank you for that, Tina. I said you didn't need to donate another one, but thank you so much for that very kind double donation. And thank you, Richard, as well, for that donation of $5. And the message is, I sent you a challenge. Check for email from me. So thank you for that. And as I said a little bit earlier, I get through the emails. There are quite a lot of them that I have to work my way through on my kind of days off, but they're admin days. So my days off are pretty much just wall to wall, doing messages, answering emails, all that kind of stuff, and the business side of things. Like I said, I do get a lot of these sponsorship emails type things, but I don't often say yes to them unless I think it's something that is really going to help you guys either improve at playing the guitar or singing, or just help your practice in general. So yes, I'll keep you guys in the loop about all of that stuff over on Patreon as well. That's where I update during my days off, my admin days as I call them. So I'm just gonna jump into now the pick roulette, so let's get this done. And I will see you guys in a second. Rock. So let's get the pick roulette wheel up on screen. There it is. And I haven't picked a top tip for tonight, so it's going to be another random one. And let me have a little look at who we've got. What about DJ K? It's going to be the top tip for tonight. What did I just say? DJ K. Right, let me just type that in so that I remember it. Okay, let's give the wheel a spin and see who's going to win. By the way, the darkest sections on the wheel are the t-shirts. So if we land on one of those, then we have a spin of the t-shirt wheel, which we will be having in a second, because we're going to be giving away a pick tin and 3 picks as well from the t-shirt wheel. But the first winner of the Wings of Pegasus signed pick is going to be... Is it going to get as far as Karen, or maybe Matrix X? Considering I mentioned about the Matrix, or is it going to be Kenneth? And it is Matrix X who is the winner tonight. So congratulations to you. If you can let yourself be known to Carla in the live chat room. That would be much appreciated so that she can organise everything with you in order to get that signed pick off to you. So we're now going to be having another spin, and this time it's the t-shirt wheel, and this is in order to win the Wings of Pegasus tin and 3 coloured picks. So let's give this a spin and see who is going to win. And I didn't pick a top tip for this, but commiserations to DJ K for not winning on the last roulette, and commiserations to everybody else who didn't win. But let's see who's going to win this time for the pick tin and the 3 coloured picks. We are slowing down, and Bev's just going through. Carla, Georges, Roy, Richard, Torto, Porco, or Donna. That was close. It's going to be Donna, I think. And it is. So congratulations to you, Donna. You have won yourself a Wings of Pegasus pick tin with closing and open function. It stays closed when it's closed, and it stays open when it's open. And you will have 3 picks in there as well of different colours. So thank you for entering, Donna, and everybody else. If you could let yourself be known, Donna, to Carla in the live chat room, that would be much appreciated so that she can organise everything with you in order to get that sent off. But commiserations to everybody else. But as I always say, if you want to double your chances of winning, make sure that you tune in on a Saturday and a Tuesday. That's when we live stream, because you can get your name on the wheel if we hit the likes target, which we have done for this week. So it means that we're going to have another pick roulette next week. So to get your names on that wheel, this is what you have to do. Type at Carla Murray in order to tag her, and then type I agree, exclamation mark, and you'll see my example go through the live chat room pretty soon. But copy what everybody else is doing in the live chat room. If this is your first introduction to the live chat room and the pick roulette wheel, then make sure, if you want to get your name on next week's pick roulette wheel, which you can do now, follow what everyone else is doing here. Just tag Carla Murray and type I agree, and then you'll have your name on that wheel next week. And that will be the technically the first live stream of the year is going to be on New Year's Eve, on Friday, because I will be going into the new year. But that'll be the proper first full live stream. It will be next Tuesday, so make sure you join me then. I'm going to leave you guys a little bit of time to type I agree. I'm trying to think what I can play very quickly. Actually, let's get into the donations, because I know that there have been another couple in there. And Karen has donated $5 again. Thank you for that, Karen. The message is, I'm referring to the fact that he had to fight to get a song on an album. Yes, it's in Get Back, and they actually rejected All Things Must Pass. So thank you for that, Karen. And that's another side of it, having songs that you've written that you would want to use with the band, but then having songs that you might not want to use with the band because you know you're going to use them for yourself because you want to go in your own direction. So yeah, lots of different discussion points for members of bands with songs as well. But thank you for that, Karen. And just going to scroll up because Stephen has donated £10.55. Thank you for that, Stephen. And that is a straight up donation. And Carla has donated £6.19. Thank you for that, Carla, with a K. And that is a straight up donation as well. And Jeanette has donated £5. Thank you for that, Jeanette. Another straight up donation. And Mark has donated £3.57. Thank you, Mark. Another straight up donation. We've had a few straight ups going down here. Marilyn has donated £17 and 83 pence. So thank you for that, Marilyn. And I just realised that those weren't on your screen. So just to have a quick look through those, that was Marilyn's. And then we had Mark in there. We had Jeanette, who donated there as well. So thank you guys for these. And Carla with a K, as I said. And Stephen, just when we started. And then Chris. I think Chris was part of the last batch saying Happy New Year. So we're going to be calling things to a close. really soon, probably in about a minute or two. It's already 20 minutes past 1 here in the morning in the UK, so we're going to be calling it to a close. Make sure that you have typed I agree and tagged Carla Murray in your comment in order to get your name on the Pick Roulette wheel next week. I'm just going to be keeping an eye out. I can see that Pamela has typed I agree, and Patty just going through there as well. I'm just trying to look out to see if we're getting any more I agrees to just extend the end of the live stream a little bit more, because I am going to be calling it to a close. But thank you for all of the donations tonight. I can see that another one has just popped in, so let me actually get it on the right screen. I'm not sure whether that was right or not. Actually, let me have a little scroll down to make sure that I've addressed all of the donations. I think I have. Marilyn donated £17.83. So I think that was the last one that we had a look at. So thank you for that, Marilyn. And just to make sure it's all up to date in the super chat window as well, which it is. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I am live streaming at that time, 11:15. And that's Greenwich Mean Time, New Year's Eve. So join me then, if you can. That is in 3 days' time. So I will see you then. There's going to be another video coming your way tomorrow night, and then an admin day on Thursday where I'll be getting into all of the messages and emails, and then Friday we'll be doing that live stream. So join me if you can. It'll be great to see you. I'll send you guys a reminder on Patreon, of course. It's going to be a little bit of a different time, 11:15. I will set up the event so that you guys get a little bit of a warning, and you can have the countdown on the live stream page as well, so that you can get the time correctly and you can join me at the right time. There's nothing worse than tuning in and you've missed the live stream, especially a New Year's Eve live stream, if you miss that time of the clock hitting midnight. Anyway, so thank you guys for joining me tonight. I will see you in the video tomorrow night, but I'll see you hopefully on New Year's Eve. Have a great rest of the week. Stay as safe as possible. Follow your government's guidelines. Wear the masks, all that kind of stuff. Get your jabs and your boosters. And hopefully things will improve in 2022 with the whole state of the world and this coronavirus and Omicron variant and all that kind of stuff, and Delta. But we will see, fingers crossed. But I will see you guys on Friday night, New Year's Eve. Have a great rest of the week. I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!